You all remember the movie raanjhanaa, starring Dhanush and Sonam, जिसमें हर 10 मिनट में हर कोई या तो अपना हाथ काटते रहता है या थप्पड़ खाते रहता है. So apparently it has re-released in Tamil Nadu with an AI-generated happy ending, which has replaced the original tragic ending. What's this happy ending, you might ask? And spoilers ahead, obviously. But Kundan, who's played by Dhanush, he survives in the end instead of dying. What's with the disco lights? Oh my god. Eros International, the studio behind this movie and this re-release, they've done this without informing anyone. Not the director, not the writers, actors, no one. The director, Anand Rai, he's publicly dissociated from this whole project and he's called it unauthorized and not a tribute and a reckless takeover. He's been posting a lot on his Insta too, and obviously, I mean, it's this guy's work and he's heartbroken that it's changed without his permission. Eros Group CEO Pradeep Dwivedi, he has been at the forefront of defending this online, very vocally, very militantly, and he states that Eros Group holds the full copyright and can legally adapt and re-release the movie as they like. Okay, all that is aside, but Pradeep, why would you want to do it so unilaterally and without involving or informing anyone who was originally involved? Rai's team is obviously like really mad and they're exploring all legal possibilities for this. So a lot of drama basically. Honestly, the reactions are the best part. They range from anywhere to people being very happy to people being mildly annoyed to people having full-on emotional breakdowns. Why is Bollywood in a self-sabotaging mode these days? Stop interacting with AI art, stop watching them, stop liking them, stop interacting in any way with them. Stop, it's killing the human soul. Stop right now, please. If anything had to be changed about the film, it should have been that part where Abhay Deol doesn't die. Oh fuck, Abhay Deol dies in the movie also. Then there's the reactions from the film fraternity, the industry also. Varun Grover has posted this really hilarious reel on Instagram. Watch it if you have seen Masan, if you know how the movie ends. And you know that it ends tragically also, right? Between Vicky Kaushal's character and Richa Chadda's character. His Mamaji on the set suggested कि यार क्या ये आर्टिस्टिक मूवी बनाई है, कोई यार कमर्शियली हिट मूवी बनाओ, इन दोनों की शादी करके इन दोनों के शादी का सीन दिखाओ, सुहागरात का सीन दिखाओ, मजा आ जाएगा. बैक देन वरुण ग्रोवर कुड मेक अप एन एक्सक्यूज कि नहीं हो सकता है अभी, ये फिल्म लॉक हो गई है ये सब. एंड थैंकफुली हिज मामा जी डिड नॉट हैव द money to make that happen, the resources to make that happen, and also the copyright to make that happen. But a lot of mamajis in Bollywood have that. They are the heads of studios like Eros International, Yash Raj Films, Dharma, T-Series, Z Studios. All these mamajis, basically, they are pushing for changes like these at every step of the way. And now with AI, they can push for these changes way after the movie is made. They can do whatever they want. There's a lot of mamajis in Bollywood basically. Okay, but why is changing the ending so bad? Like, a lot of people seem to be liking it. Who the fuck are you? I'm anti-bias. I just make sure you consider the other side too. That is such a weird name. But theek hai. Hear from the director himself. Quote, Kundan died because he loved Zoya till the very end. Because he couldn't exist in a world that couldn't accept that kind of love. And we accepted that pain, that tragic closure because it meant something. Because it was true to the characters, to the world, to the writing. Changing it now is not just unnecessary, it's deeply disrespectful. To the people who made this film, to the audience that carried it in their hearts for years, and to art itself. And yeah, after having rewatched this movie just last night, I agree with that. The ending is very important. It's what cinephiles would call cathartic. It's meant to be painful. It's meant to make you feel a lot of things even if they're not pleasant. And that's the intention of the filmmaker. And does that make sense to you? But Eros ke Mamaji thinks otherwise. Mamaji wants a commercial hit. Mamaji knows how to run a business, not us lousy artists or creatives. Mamaji knows what the audience really wants. Mamaji can write better endings that will bring people back in theaters. So, are you guys excited for the updated Kal Ho Na Ho, in which Aman lives and marries Naina and they live happily ever after? How about Rockstar, in which he lives? Or how about Devdas, in which Devdas lives and marries Paro? Maybe there'll be a Devdas too then. Well, actually we kind of hilarious.
शराब पीना छोड़ दो देव.
ना पारो.
छोड़ दो देव.
ना.
कोशिश तो करो. छोड़ सकते हो. वादा करो कि आज के बाद तुम शराब नहीं पियोगे.
The scary thing is both Rockstar and Devdas, along with a catalogue of 3,000 movies, they actually belong to Eros. And hypothetically, Mamaji could do this if he wants to. Oh wait, he's actually going to. So Mamaji in his interview with The Guardian is saying that this is just an exploratory baby step and that he's significantly evaluating Eros's library of 3,000 films for similar AI treatments. He says, quote, if the technology allows us to do something and we can do something good with it, why not? Why not? Quote, Eros's catalogue includes Indian classics such as Sholay, Mother India, Om Shanti Om, and Bajirao Mastani. Okay, you clearly have a bias here and I need you to consider the other side too. Fine. Here's something straight from Mr. Dwivedi's link. Quote, we are witnessing the timeless clash between Luddits and progressives. Every era of cinema faced it, when sound replaced silence, when color replaced black and white, when digital challenged celluloid, and now when AI meets narrative. Tools don't erase art, they extend its reach. What do you have to say to that, huh? And also, who the fuck are Luddites? Luddite is basically anyone who's opposed to new technology because they think it will take their jobs. Basically, in 19th century England, when cotton mills and jute mills were being introduced, all the traditional workers of that time, they destroyed these machineries because they thought it will take their jobs and it threatens their livelihoods. I mean, isn't that what you and Mr. Rai are doing here right now? No, look, AI has some obvious benefits and I agree. Like, it can be used to dub new content for specific regions, clean up audio, it can even help restore old films. All that I agree. But in this context, it's being used as a decision maker, not as a tool which is helping you. That blurs authorship itself. Because there's no creator involved. Like, it's not being used to help someone do something better like a machine does. It's being used to replace someone altogether. And it's just doing it worse. Only Mamaji benefits from this by not having to pay Dhanush or Anandel Rai and keeping all the saved money for himself. But he stated in interviews that there's substantial human involvement. Come on, anti-bias, he's clearly lying. We both know it's probably an overworked intern somewhere sitting inside Eros' office having to pull this off in one night. Come on. He has to say there's human involvement, man. Indian copyright laws protect an AI-made work only when there's substantial human involvement. The moment people realize this has been done mostly by machines is the moment it loses its copyright. You can't stop AI, Shashwat. It's inevitable. It's happening everywhere, even in Hollywood. Bro, come on. Progress isn't just technological, it's also ethical, right? You brought up Hollywood, right, EB? But you failed to mention how all the writers there and how all the actors there were striking for 5 fucking months because of AI-related disruptions. For example, Marvel's Secret Invasion end credits. They used AI-generated imagery in the whole end credits and people were mad. Or Disney tricking tons of people into giving their facial scans so they can use AI to use them as background actors whenever they want. What the fuck was all that? Hollywood stood up against it collectively. And did that work? Yes, these guys secured some of the toughest protections against AI in any workplace. One of the updated agreements for a writer states that only a writer can use AI tools, not a Mamaji, not a studio. It is the responsibility of a writer to use that AI. So none of this is about banning AI in cinema. It's about who gets to use it and how they get to use it. End of the day, he owns the project. He's financing the movie, bro. Without him, the movie would not exist. He can make raanjhanaa into happy ending. He can pair Salman Khan with Vivek Oberoi. He can make Arjun Kapoor do acting. Bro, he can insert brain rot humor in Main Hoon Na if he wants to. Teri ko kya?
राम सर फेल हुए थे या पढ़ाई देर से शुरू की?
सर वो क्या है ना राम को अपनी
Or did you forget how copyright laws and capitalism works? Well, actually, ठीक है, EB is right in saying that the ones providing the paisa, the capital to finance a movie are the ones who own it legally. Fine. However, the Indian copyright law, according to the Indian constitution, provides for something called a moral right. Put yourself in the shoes of Amarnath Sehgal. You're a modernist sculptor, one of the most renowned in the world, and Nehru has just commissioned you to make beautiful murals for the newly inaugurated Vigyan Bhavan. And you do a fantastic job, Nehru loves it, and you get handsomely paid. Now, in 1979, under a new government, your murals are removed and they're stored in some warehouse that you don't know about. You try contacting the government, maybe you can put up your art elsewhere, maybe they don't need to have it, but there's no response and they won't even hand you back something that you made. Soon you find out they've damaged it too. You're obviously very angry, you decide to go to the Delhi court and you win the case. You win the case against the government of India. The court rules that despite the government of India funding and owning your mural, they've violated your moral rights. And that's exactly what moral rights are. They protect an artist's relationship with their work, even if they don't own it, even if the government of India owns it, even if some mamaji owns it. Moral rights are recognized under Section 57 of Indian copyright law. It states, quote, the author of the work shall have the right to claim authorship of the work as well as the right to restrain or claim damages in respect of any distortion, mutilation, or other modification of the said work, or any other action in relation to the said work which would be prejudicial to his honor or reputation. They can't pull a raanjhanaa on your art, basically. They just can't. I was going through the official document of this verdict, and this one line in particular has really stayed with me. Physical destruction or loss of intellectual property has far-reaching social consequence. Knowledge which has grown with it is also lost. But pata hai, the more I study about this, the more I realize that's exactly what Mamaji is trying to do. It's erasure of knowledge, erasure of things people felt while watching these movies, erasure of how an artist's creation is remembered, of how a story is remembered. So the law favors Mr. Rai. Cool. Why hasn't he pressed charges? Why isn't he going to the courts? What is he afraid of when he has moral rights? I don't have the answer to questions like these, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's afraid. Maybe he's afraid to go after Eros. Or maybe he's slowly garnering support from the industry in the background to launch a Hollywood-like protest. Or is it something deeper? So these are Mamaji's statements in the Variety interview. Eros is the sole and exclusive holder of all rights, including moral rights. The definition of author for a cinematograph film under Section 2D5 is the producer. Proposals to vest moral rights in directors were explicitly rejected by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Okay? Stay with me. Now these are Anand Rai's statements. The choices we make today will define the rights and agency of creators for years to come. This will determine whether our industry moves forward with dignity, protection, and creative freedom, or whether it becomes vulnerable to manipulation in the name of progress. Is it just me, or do you all notice something? Mamaji's statements are a lot more about the law and the constitution and the technicalities of it, while Anand Rai's statements are a lot more emotional. Why is that? Why is Anand Rai shying away from using the law to make his point? Ankit Sani is a lawyer for intellectual property, and in an interview with the Indian Express, he states, quote, under Indian copyright law section 2D, the author of a cinematograph film is the producer. The director, unless they have specific contract that grants them ownership or economic rights, cannot claim any legal control over the film. The fuck? And Mamaji says the same thing, like, quote, please note that in this specific instance, the said director has already waived all moral rights in writing at the time of development of this film by Euro Studio. What? So, in reality, the law favors Mamaji? I mean, jitna main dekh raha hu, industry lawyers are also saying the same thing, that outrage and all is fine, but the law states that in a film, the director is not an author, he's just an artist for hire. So unless the contract specifically states that the director is an author, he isn't. And he can't avail any moral rights in this case. What the fuck, dude? मैं क्या films बनाऊंगा भाई Bollywood में? In 2006 and 2011, Excel Entertainment's The Dawn movies landed in a ton of copyright issues for not consulting or compensating the original movie's makers. In 2013, Amitabh Bachchan's Zanjeer was made by Reliance Entertainment without informing or paying the original writer, Salim Khan. He demanded 6 crore as compensation on a moral rights ground. His case was rejected by the court. In 2020, Mr. India's remake rights were sold by the producer of the original movie, Bonnie Kapoor, to Z Studios without informing the director or the stars. What do you think these incidents highlight? That studio is the baap, that Mamaji is actually the big daddy. And hasn't all of this been happening before AI? So मेरा एक writer दोस्त है who went through something very similar. Let's call him for now Atamveer. Atamveer Jagota Singh. Okay, that's the name we're going ahead with. Atamveer wrote a bunch of series concepts for an OTT platform. Most of them were rejected, and the platform said कि like we'll pay you only half of the fees that we promised you because हम लोग कोई script अभी use नहीं कर रहे. And he half-heartedly agreed. He moved on. 2 years later, he finds out that one of the stories he wrote has been made into a web series, okay? Not a well-received one, but that exact concept has been taken. And obviously, he's nowhere in the credits. And this guy's heartbroken. Like, किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि इसने ये concept लिखा है, इसने story लिखी है, and it's been developed into a TV show. No one will know about it. When you're against Mamajis, when you're against studios, there's very little you can do. I mean, technically, you could go to the court, you could file a case, but you're a single person. Your time, your resources, your money, everything is very precious. Meanwhile, Mamaji has thousands of lawyers working for him. He has all the money in the world. He can drag it out. So yeah, Atamveer Jagota Singh had to just move on, and like that's the story that thousands of writers go through every day in Bombay. Did you know for DDLJ, Aditya Chopra got the sole screenplay credits for the whole movie when veteran writer Hani Rani contributed to 20% of the screenplay? She said that. Farhan Akhtar's mom, Javed Siddiqui, was another guy who says he wrote almost all of the dialogues in the movie and he got only a co-writer role in the credits that he shared with Aditya Chopra. And this is still fucking directors and producers and people who are higher up the chain. When it comes to writers, we are even more screwed. The SWA, the Screenwriters Association, states that in a 2-month span in 2024, they lodged 98 complaints of plagiarism or stolen scripts. Script churana yaar is a very big part of Bollywood. I mean, I've seen this firsthand working here. This is a feature in the system, not a bug. Kamlesh Pandey, writer of movies like Delhi 6 and Chalbaz, he says that, quote, our industry has been unprofessional in the past and remains so. There is still a feudal mindset where filmmakers think they are doing us a favor by giving us work. You'll be up against Mamaji all the time and there's very little you can do about it. Yeah, I think it's starting to make sense to me now because all of these things were happening way before AI was introduced. Jobs being stolen, people not getting credit, people getting not paid. I have worked in the Bombay movie industry, in the Bombay media industry, and I've seen this happen firsthand. It's like a food chain. Okay, at the top sits the studio, the Mamajis obviously, and as you go down, the harder it gets. Directors like Anand Rai, yes, it is really bad for him, but he can still pick up some other project. He can do a whole bunch of other things. You go down the food chain a little, you have writers. They have it worse, as you've seen. Deferred payments, no credits, a whole bunch of things. You go even lower down the food chain, like vendors, the people who provide the filmmaking equipment to make a film happen, like, camera rentals, light rentals, sound rentals, a whole bunch of things. They have it even worse. They don't get payments for months on end. I have seen this happen. And then you have the actual workers, the light dadas, the sound dadas, the makeup artists, the caterers, people who actually run the movies, people who ensure the movie gets made. They have it the absolute worst. They are the least deprived of resources and they have it the worst. It's not an exception. It's not that ki kabhi kabhar hota hai. This is just how the system works. It's a feature of the system. The Screenwriters Association, something that I just talked about, they have a minimum requirement of 12 to 20 lakhs of payment for a writer to write a full film script. Varun Grover has gone on record saying that he knows colleagues who were offered only 50,000 to write screenplays and dialogues of movies. And even the Writers Association says it's like common for writers to sign away their rights because otherwise they won't get the gig. अब producers को ये बात पता है. Z Studio के CEO शारिक पाटिल ने बोला है कि like minimum wage guidelines जो है industry के जो भी सब associations and guilds के, they don't really follow them. Like it's okay. Like there's a lot more people who are waiting in line to take an opportunity, and if you don't want to take this job, if you want to adhere to your association's guidelines, fuck off. AK All Indian Sign Workers Association, and these are the people, as I said, who run the movies. They wrote an open letter to PM Modi, and in it, they're practically begging him to like intervene in this matter because of how bad the conditions in the industry are. 16 to 20 hours working days without holidays, no proper rests or breaks in between, poor physical and mental health, inadequate safety and fire facilities leading to constant accidents and fatalities, no provisions for medical coverages, no changing rooms or separate toilets for female workers. Salaries of workers are often delayed by months or even years, forcing them into debt and financial distress. One of the reasons why all of this also happen is because the film industry is classified as an unorganized sector somehow. Like if it was an organized sector, it would come under worker laws, corporate laws, tax laws, a whole bunch of things, but it does not. That's what drives me crazy. That's what I've been realizing over the last 1 hour, ki like all of this has been like this disrespect for an artist, for a kirdar, has been happening for a very long time. It was happening way before AI came along. यार जो लोग movies बना रहे हैं, जो लोग actually cinema को cinema बनाते हैं, तुम उन लोग को एक time से payment नहीं दे रहे हो, उनको एक basic respect नहीं दे रहे हो, working conditions नहीं दे रहे हो. Of course, when something like AI comes along, all the mamajis will just take it. AI won't ask for like working hours or timely payments or anything like that. AI doesn't have feelings. EB, I get it. Like I see how it's not just mamaji's fault. I mean, the whole system is kind of designed like that, and it's really sad. That's just how capitalism works. They provide the capital, they get to decide the terms. You don't. They can pay Akshay Kumar 100 crore for the same movie that bombs every year, but they won't pay a writer even 3-4 lakhs for writing the whole script of the movie. Okay, that's his rules. Those are Mamaji's rules. So it's really not surprising me how well AI is being welcomed into the industry, because it's the perfect fit for such a broken, such a corrupt industry. So I guess you first have to be level-headed about this and see कि ये होता आ रहा है, good and bad phases, and it's very well documented. Bollywood goes through phases. In fact, one of my college dissertations was on this. And अभी जो current phase चल रहा है, that is unfortunately bad, but again, it's just a phase, albeit a really long one. And AI in general, not just for Bollywood or like any creative fields, AI in general, I think हम लोग like थोड़ा सा we're in a transitional phase. This is a new technology. People are LARPing on to try it. We don't have any laws around AI currently. We don't have any regulations. And also we don't have any literacy around AI. लोग को पता नहीं है इसका कब यूज़ करना चाहिए, क्यों यूज़ करना चाहिए, कैसे यूज़ करना चाहिए. Everyone's just like still like it's such a new technology. It's such a paradigm shift. And people are still figuring it out. What can you do on a personal level? Okay, I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been first of all observing how these generative AI platforms like Gemini and ChatGPT, they have a tendency to agree with you on everything. Hey ChatGPT, my friend was mildly aggressive to me today and I'm not gonna talk to her for the rest of my fucking life. Wow, Shashwat, you exhibit emotional maturity that people of your age never show. I think you're doing the right thing. Here are some resources to help you do that better. Go ahead, do it. They don't offer you any nuance. They don't offer you a diversity of opinion. They don't disagree with you on everything. They always tell you exactly what you want to hear. And I guess I have been recognizing that and being very, very aware about it. And lastly, I've realized there's a lot of genuinely good human artistry out there. You just have to seek it out. You just don't have to be lazy. I've been reading a lot of books. Bastard of Istanbul by Elif Shafak currently. I've been watching old movies, a lot of regional movies. I have been attending art galleries and art exhibits, even in my small hometown of Lucknow. I've done a full-on purge from all my social handles, removing any AI-generated content. I now follow creators and influencers and artists who actually make stuff that I would like to see, human-made artistry. Apparently, that's a big deal now. Oh wait, should I plug myself in here? Parq is a bit of a personal project that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I'm currently on a career break from full-time work. I'm trying to learn, grow myself. I'm trying to do these personal projects that I have been holding on for a very long time. I mean, I love video essays and I've always been very interested about these topics, and I've always wished that people talked about Indian movies and Indian internet and Indian culture and things which only Indians would understand in a way like this. And that's what Parq is all about. So if you feel like you had a good time the last 20-25 minutes, if you feel like I entertained you, like, share, comment, subscribe guys, but genuinely. And there will be a lot more of these, so stay tuned for more. Love you all.